My name is Serena, and at 27 years old, I recently got married back home. Growing up, my father and brother subjected my mother and me to harsh treatment. We were treated more like servants than family. Any command from my father or brother had to be obeyed immediately. Any delay resulted in harsh scolding. This treatment began in my early childhood. "Hurry up. Why are you so slow?" was a constant refrain. Even a child in elementary school could do better than you. My father would berate. "Women are worthless," he declared, silencing any protest with a sharp "shut up." My chores began from preschool age, but the demands intensified when I started elementary school. While my father and brother lounged, my mother and I were kept constantly busy. Whenever they desired something, whether a drink or ice cream in the depths of winter, we were expected to fetch it immediately, regardless of the inconvenience. As a result, my mother and I were perpetually exhausted. She often wept, apologizing to me. "I'm sorry, Serena. It's because I'm weak that they treat you like this." "No, Mom," I reassured her. "Someday, I'll leave this house. I'll stand on my own feet and escape from Dad and brother." Concerned, I asked, "But what about you, Mom?" Her reply was simple yet resolute. "As long as you're happy, Serena, I'll be fine." When I reached 10th grade, thoughts of attending college began to occupy my mind. However, my father firmly believed that women did not need higher education. His traditional mindset dictated that a high school diploma was sufficient for a woman. Despite this, I was enrolled in a college preparatory program, and all my friends were making plans for university. I had a passion for learning and was determined to pursue higher education. Initially, my father opposed the idea, but my mother intervened. "She excels in her studies. That's why I support her going to college," she asserted. This sparked a confrontation. "Are you challenging me? I've said it countless times, women don't need education." My father retorted, "What good will it do when all she'll do is cook after marriage?" My mother stood firm, countering, "Education is never wasted. It will prove useful even after marriage and children." Reluctantly, my father agreed, but refused to finance my tuition. Undeterred, my mother used her savings to support my college aspirations. I was accepted into my first choice university, a private institution. Grateful yet burdened by the expense, I embarked on my college journey, which ultimately led me to meet my husband. I had always harbored a fear of men, but he changed that for me. He was remarkably kind. Our paths crossed at our college club where his cheerful demeanor and knack for making others laugh stood out. Having grown up under the shadow of my father and brother, for the first time, I found myself feeling positively towards a man. I began to entertain the idea of dating someone like him, though I kept my feelings hidden and couldn't muster the courage to confess. As a result, we never dated during our college years. It wasn't until after graduation that we met again at a reunion. He had transformed into a sophisticated city man, a stark contrast to my rural upbringing in New York family home. During my university years, I had lived independently in an apartment, and after graduating, I found myself working in Manhattan, where I was known simply as Plain Jane at my company. I wasn't sure if someone as plain as me was suitable for him, but when he asked me to visit, I couldn't refuse. We reminisced about our club days and soon started dating. A year and a half later, he proposed formally, and we got married. As we started our own family, I began to worry about my mother back at my childhood home. The thought of her enduring continued abuse from my father and brother made me feel ill. "Hi, Mom. How have you been?" I asked cautiously. "I'm fine, but how about you, Serena?" she replied gently. "I'm doing well. Danny helps a lot around the house, and he might even be a better cook than me." "Really? Perhaps he takes after his father, the chef." "Could be. But please don't worry about me, Mom. And make sure to take care of yourself too, dear." "I will, Mom." Her words were kind as always, but I sensed something troubling beneath the surface. I had a gut feeling that she was still suffering from my father and brother's mistreatment. They harbored a deep-seated disdain for women, but my mother, with her scared face, bore the brunt of their cruelty. Before I was born, my mother had an accident that left a prominent scar on the right side of her face. My father would cruelly call it hideous and disgusting, so she always kept that side of her face covered with her hair. It was heartbreaking to see my mother, who had been injured defending my father, being insulted in such a way. It became evident that my father didn't appreciate her at all. Even my brother joined in, saying heartless things like, "Don't come to the open house. You're disgusting." I believe that such words should never be spoken, especially within a family. One sweltering midsummer day, my husband and I were enjoying a pleasant evening with chilled beer and snacks. Suddenly, the doorbell rang just before 9 p.m., leaving us wondering who could be calling at such a late hour. As we opened the door, there stood my mother. "Oh, Danny, Mom, what brings you here at this hour?" I asked, surprised. "Could you lend me $20? I'm sorry for bothering you, Serena and Danny," she replied softly. $20 is fine, but what happened?" I inquired, concerned. "I thought I'd go to a motel or something," she murmured. "A motel? What do you mean?" I pressed gently. "Right now, all I need is a place to sleep," she explained wearily. "What? Why? Did something happen?" I asked, growing increasingly alarmed. "They kicked me out of the house, your father and his lot. I have no money," she confessed. I froze in shock, unable to comprehend. As I urged her to share more, the details she revealed were beyond horrifying. That evening after dinner, Mom was busy with her usual housework when Dad and brother began demanding more alcohol and ice cream. Mom left with only her coin purse and smartphone to get what they wanted. However, when she returned, she found the door locked from the inside. "Unlock the door. I brought everything," Mom pleaded. "Just leave it there. We don't need you anymore," Dad's harsh voice replied. "Drop what you bought and disappear. Worthless wife," brother added cruelly. This left Mom utterly distraught. She had spent almost all her money and couldn't even afford a taxi, forcing her to walk all the way back home. "That's what happened." "That's terrible. Maybe you're just useless now," Mom lamented. "Serena, let's have your mother live with us," my husband suddenly suggested. "Really? Are you sure?" I asked in surprise. "Yeah, we have extra rooms. She can have one," he assured me. "But I don't want to intrude on your newlywed life," Mom protested. "It's okay. I see you as my own mother," my husband insisted warmly. "Thank you," Mom exclaimed tearfully. She must have been deeply moved by his kindness, something she likely wasn't used to experiencing. My husband had lost his mother young and was raised by his hard-working chef father. He had earned a college scholarship and understood the pain of others. Having such a husband, I came to realize how fortunate I was. He was the complete opposite of my father and brother. From then on, we began our life together as a trio. Whenever we returned home, Mom always had a hot meal waiting for us. "You don't have to go through all this trouble, Danny, and I can help with the housework," I offered. "It's okay. I want to do this." "Thank you, Mom," my husband insisted warmly. After a comforting home-cooked meal from Mom, I was feeling a bit guilty and relaxed when the doorbell suddenly rang. To my surprise, it was my father and older brother. "You're here after all. How could you send me a text like that? I don't want to be with you anymore." "What's that supposed to mean?" my father bellowed. "I simply told you how I feel," Mom retorted calmly. "Oh, you're getting bold now. Since when did you start acting so high and mighty?" my father sneered. "You were the one who asked me to leave, right? So I'm suggesting we get a divorce?" Mom shrugged. "I don't need an old lady like you around, but if we're divorcing, you better pay me alimony," my father demanded. "Excuse me?" I was shocked to hear my father demanding alimony from my mother. I couldn't believe what was happening. "Isn't that young guy I saw with you your new boyfriend? That's cheating, isn't it?" my father accused. "No, it isn't," Mom responded firmly. "Oh, you two seem quite close though. We didn't do anything improper," my mother calmly clarified. I was taken aback. I had no idea my mother had been involved with a younger man. Panic set in. Was she really having an affair? If so, it would be detrimental to her since she and my father were not yet divorced. Concerned about potential legal repercussions if my father's accusations were true, I glanced at my mother. To my surprise, she winked at me, silently reassuring me that everything would be all right. "You despicable, disgraced woman. You won't survive alone once we divorce. Go ahead, pay me and live your pitiful life," my father scorned. "I'm fine with divorcing. I have a job," she asserted calmly. "What? A job? But you've always been a housewife." My father was dumbfounded, echoed by my brother's shocked expression. Neither my father nor my brother had any knowledge that my mother had been employed. She had kept it a secret from them, confiding in me discreetly. She had explained that she wanted to avoid them becoming financially dependent on her. "Oh, I understand now. Let's start anew. Come back home," my father pleaded as soon as he learned about the situation with the money. But my mother's response was cold and resolute. "Why would I? I'm not coming back. I'm filing for divorce. What? Why? I'm offering to reconcile, my father exclaimed. Why do you speak down to me? I'm not the weak person I once was. I don't need a cheating man like you, my mother retorted firmly. The accusation of being the cheating man stunned my father. My brother, sitting nearby, was equally taken aback. Did you say something to my business partner, Emma? My mother questioned. Well, he's seeing a woman younger than Sabrina. It's disturbing, downright disgusting, my brother interjected. No, you've misunderstood. It's not what you think. My father protested vehemently. What's there to misunderstand? Can you deny this after seeing the photo? My mother confronted, displaying a picture she had discovered on her phone. It depicted my father in a close and intimate pose with a young woman named Emma, their faces almost touching. Seeing this, I couldn't help but feel disgusted by my father's actions. It was shocking to realize that this man was my father, behaving in such a despicable manner. How had my mother uncovered their relationship with Emma? It was through one of her business connections. During a face-to-face meeting at a cafe, my mother had noticed a ring on Emma's finger, one that bore a striking resemblance to a ring she had purchased years ago. Impressed, my mother had complimented Emma on her ring. Emma had responded, "Thank you. My boyfriend, an older man, gave it to me. It's secondhand, but I cherish it because of its value." This revelation fueled my mother's suspicion that my father had given Emma the ring. It was a unique diamond and emerald piece, custom-made just for her, making its disappearance from her jewelry box all the more damning. Convinced of my father's infidelity, she made her intentions clear. "I'll be seeking compensation for this affair, and we're getting a divorce," she declared. "What? Who's going to take care of all the housework then?" My father protested. "Really? You and your son can manage, can't you?" I interjected, knowing well their incompetence in domestic tasks. They had always relied on us women to handle everything, so they would undoubtedly struggle if my mother left. It made me question why they had driven her away in the first place. That's when I resolved to intervene. "Why would you chase Mom away if you can't manage without her?" I demanded. "It was just to hurt that woman. I wanted her to suffer. I'm not the villain here," my father defended himself. "You're still saying that. You're the one who cheated. You're despicable and disgusting," I retorted, finding a newfound strength to confront my father and brother. In the past, I hadn't been able to stand up to them, but now, with the support of my husband and seeing my mother's resilience, I felt empowered to protect my family. Meanwhile, my brother was in tears, unsure of what to do next. It became apparent that he couldn't even cook a basic meal. His culinary skills were limited to bacon and eggs and salads. I questioned if those even qualified as cooking. If they were so incapable in the kitchen, perhaps living on instant ramen for the rest of their lives would suffice. My mother wasn't a servant or a housekeeper. Why should she return home cheerfully after being betrayed? It was clear my father and brother were not thinking straight. They couldn't even hold a coherent conversation. "Well then, since you've made your decision, we need to prepare. I'll find a good lawyer," my father declared. "Hold on. I don't care anymore. I'm definitely getting a divorce. Whether through mediation or a trial, it doesn't matter. I've endured emotional distress because of you, and I might be entitled to significant compensation," my mother asserted firmly. "No way. I won't allow it," my brother smirked arrogantly. "Even if we divorce, the parent-child relationship won't end," he retorted. "So, I'll still inherit when you're gone." "That's not happening. I'm cutting you out of my will. After the way you've treated me, I won't let someone like you inherit anything. Did you know that by specifying my will, I can prevent you from receiving any of my assets?" My brother's eyes widened in shock. He had never considered that his hurtful behavior could lead to such consequences. His outcry echoed loudly through our apartment complex. A burly man from the neighboring apartment, whom we usually avoided, emerged due to the commotion. He scolded my father and brother, who quickly fled as if fleeing for their lives. After my mother divorced my father, it was a difficult battle, but she secured substantial compensation. She completely cut ties with Emma, my father's mistress. My father appeared devastated, and my brother, realizing he wouldn't inherit anything, fell into a deep gloom. My father's career suffered, and he was gradually demoted to less significant roles before eventually choosing to resign. Meanwhile, my brother, working as a freelancer, struggled to make ends meet on his own. He reached out to me for help, but I ignored his calls and messages, cutting off contact. Following the divorce, my mother moved to a different apartment, feeling it best to create some distance from us. While my husband felt a sense of loneliness, I believed the separation might be beneficial. Even now, the three of us occasionally gather for dinner, which is truly enjoyable. However, soon we will become a family of 4, as I am pregnant. I have no intention of allowing my child to meet their grandfather. I cannot bear the thought of such a despicable man being near my child. From now on, I am determined to become a stronger woman for the sake of my husband, my mother, and my child.